Bonjour, Monsieur Mike.
And bonjour, Milky Charm and Beach.
Did you realize, Mike, that this month is February?
Okay.
And February is known, if I'm correct, as the month of romance. And guess what? It's also my birthday on the 25th.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I guess it makes sense. I mean, how charming are you? It's appropriate you were born this time of year.
You are so kind, Mike. You always are. Well, I'm wondering, what do you really know about the origin of Sam Valentine?
Well, Valentine's Day, it's a big focus when it comes to the month of February. So here's my understanding on this, okay?
Okay.
Valentine was a priest in the 3rd century in Rome. And the Emperor Claudius II, had decided that single men made better soldiers. He decided that he wanted an army of single men. So he outlawed marriage for those young men. Now, Valentine looked at that and said, well, that's incredibly, ridiculously unjust. So he defied the emperor and just kept on performing marriage ceremonies, just kept on doing it. Well, when that got to the emperor's attention, he said, that's not going to fly. And he sentenced Valentine to death.
Oh, sad.
It is, to be executed on February the 14th. Now, that was a major sacrifice in the name of love. And because of that, Valentine was declared a saint. And now we celebrate that sacrifice and love on February the 14th.
I wonder how many people really wonder about that.
I found it really interesting when we were talking about it, so I'm glad we learned it.
Okay, and me, I found the dark side of Sam Valentine.
Okay, the dark side of Valentine.
Okay, in the 20s, you remember, there were the times of bootlegging.
Oh, yes, gangsters.
There was also the time of the famous gangsters.
Yes, big names.
So, big names. Scarface, Al Capone. And there was one, I'm not sure, you know him, Bugs Moran.
I've heard of Bugs Moran, but not much.
So, they hated each other.
Okay.
And some of the gangsters invaded the headquarters of Bugs Moran, and they were wearing the policeman officers, and they killed 7 men on that day.
Oh, boy.
And it's known since then, on the 14th of February, as the Valentine Massacre.
I've seen pictures of it, but I never really knew the backstory. And obviously, that story is a little darker. It's not quite as uplifting as the story of Saint Valentine. But it's interesting because it makes me think about the two sides to it, the duality of it, right? The good and the bad, the yin and the yang. And it happens during this month and during Valentine's Day in particular. As I think about it, there are people who they're dating. They're married. They have a significant other of some kind in their lives. And, you know, everybody says you got to bring them flowers, you've got to bring them candy, and they'll enjoy doing that, right? They can do that together. But people who are alone may not have as easy a time enjoying it.
Very lonely time for some people.
It can be, yeah. But there you go. You like to talk about changing your focus.
Well, what I believe, Mike, is you have the freedom to decide what focus you want to be on.
Yes.
Right? You want to be on what doesn't work or what works, and you'll get the results that follow. Because the story goes, what you focus on becomes your reality, and it expands and expands, and that's all the thing you see.
Literally true. What we focus on does expand.
Or loneliness, the choice is yours.
Oh, that's excellent. You know, let's talk about romance, though, because that's a word that gets thrown around a lot. And I think a lot of people... What does it mean? What's romance to you?
Okay. Romance to me is this excitement, mystery around love. But if you think of the word love, you can love something. It doesn't have to be a human being. It can be something. It can be a passion for something in your life.
I think in a lot of ways, any of that has to start with us, though.
Right.
I think an unconditional love for ourselves is really how it starts. I think we need to begin by falling in love with ourselves. And that joy, it literally does overflow, and then you can spread it. You can spread it to people around you, to your family, to your friends, to everybody else on the planet and maybe even other galaxies.
Oh, I love this
right?
idea.
I love that idea.
How about the
extraterrestrials, right?
Hey. The little aliens with a little smile and buggy eyes.
Little smiles. Hey, E.T. was a loving character, so there we go. He could bring flowers back. So we can give some of that love back, right? And we came up with a little formula when we were chatting a couple of days ago. And that formula is this. SL plus UL equals V. That's self-love plus universal love equals victory. Fun concept, right, Advish?
I love it. But there is also another concept I discovered. It's called the honeymoon effect, which is in line with what we are talking about.
Right.
So it has been originated by a biologist named Dr. Bruce Lipton.
Right.
And please look up his book. It's called The Biology of Beliefs. So he believes that if you had a honeymoon, you were very excited. Everything worked out for you. But unfortunately, it's a very... what do you call it?
Short-lived.
Short-lived,
really.
Thank you.
It can burn bright, but not long.
However, this energy, which is being stored in your subconscious mind, can be conjured up and activated for other things in your life. So it's just playing with your brain here. And if you do, you can recreate this excitement. And again, the excitement for your life. But we need to figure out what brings you passion.
What brings passion? And also, if we're focusing on the right or the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And that it reminds me actually of two stories. The first one I want to start with is about being focused on the wrong part of it, because that doesn't help anybody. And I was dating a girl at one point who, it's a few years back. Valentine's Day happened to fall on a Saturday. Okay. So I had this beautiful bouquet brought in for her on Saturday the 14th. Makes sense, right?
Yep.
She got home from work on Friday the 13th. Wow, that should have been enough of a warning for me. And she was really angry. And I said, what's wrong? She said, I didn't get flowers. I said, well, it's not Valentine's Day. And she said, yeah, and? I said, well, Valentine's Day tomorrow. I have beautiful flowers coming. And she said, no, you're supposed to send them a day before if you're at work so the other people can see them. And I was like, wait, what kind of rule is this that I'm absolutely not aware of?
God.
And that got so in the way of the actual expression that I was making for her. Her expectation, her idea of romance got in the way of the heart that was coming out.
Of course. Oh, what's that story?
It's one of those things.
Well, I got a story too that happened to me because in France during my days, I don't know today, but nobody knew about Valentine's Day, of course, because it happened in other places.
Sure.
In
Not
America.
a big French thing.
No French thing. So when I came to America in my 20s, I started dating American men.
Okay.
And I had a first date with one.
Okay.
It was okay. I mean, he wasn't the love of my life, but it was okay for a second date. And he asked me to be on Valentine's Day. And I was looking forward. I found out, again, it was about chocolates or flowers, right?
Sure.
Well, guess what, Mike? I got red lingerie.
Red lingerie on your second date.
It's a little premature. And I think that was the last date. I know. He lost his third date.
We do, as men, I guess, need to realize how important timing is on this.
Oh, well.
I'm going to flip the narrative a bit because I want to talk about an experience that's positive that you can go back to. When you were talking earlier, Advish, about how we have the ability to choose what we're passionate about and choose when we're feeling passionate by going back and revisiting these times, which is what the honeymoon effect is all about.
Yes.
And it doesn't even have to be romance. I remember when I was 20 or 21 years old, I climbed a mountain and I had a fear of heights going into it. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I ended up making my way to the top. I was a pretty natural climber, but I was still nervous.
Yes.
I got to the top. It was Pikes Peak, actually, and looked over the edge, just rocks, and then a drop.
Oh, my God.
And I remember the bottom just fell out of my stomach for a minute. And then this is the most amazing feeling I've ever had. And I can still go back there. I can still remember the smell of the air, that feeling of conquering a fear, that beautiful, amazing view and the world opening up underneath me. Exciting. passionate about finding that feeling again.
Yeah.
And that's what the honeymoon effect really is. It really is all about.
I bet you can use that energy when you tackle a new venture.
Anytime when I'm about to go on
energy.
stage.
Oh, here we go.
Going into heart chat, whatever it might be, you can go back to that place.
Yes.
And
it reminds me also of a similar story of climbing. I love to climb. I wasn't afraid of heights, except it was in Utah. And when I got to a certain place, there was no more barrier, no more
like not a safety round type thing?
From the void below.
Just straight down.
And they just had chains, metal chains. It was called the Angel's Landing. Only angels could get up there. And I decided to do it. I crawled on all fours, holding on, but I made it.
You did it.
And wow, what a feeling. I still can taste it in my mouth.
Isn't that what it's about? So I guess you got to ask yourself, you know what? Let's take that right to the next part. If you're going to be asking yourself something, then let's talk about the power of questions.
But I want to say something before, because that's important to realize in life, that there is a difference in the love department between, I know you will know that, agape love and eros. And I think we focus too much on the eros, on the romance with a man or a woman. But what about the agape, which is for humanity, to have this love for your brother, your sister, your...
Wow, that's a really good point. And especially on Valentine's Day, when we were talking earlier about people that may feel empty if they don't have a significant other. Yeah. But here's a suggestion for that.
Yes.
Look to agape for that. Join big brothers, big sisters. Make a donation to a charity or go work in a homeless shelter. What about your pet?
Oh, I adopted my pet.
Right? I mean, what a wonderful way to share love. Family. Let them know you appreciate them. Spend some time with that love. Your mother, my siblings, right? Or how about yourself? Take yourself on a date, show that love, and that change comes from the inside out.
A nice bath, a massage, a facial. There's so many things for women. I don't know if you relate to this, but
with me, it might be taking a breath and sitting outside with a book.
Oh, you like the books.
Because I love to read.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways you can celebrate love for humanity, love for yourself. Eros is appropriate, so are the others. So the bottom line is, what are you going to be passionate about? What are you going to find, and how are you going to share that love? So since we're, again, still in question mode, let's get the power of the questions. I think it's a very important thing.
Who is reading?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I mean...
Okay, I'll read your questions.
Go for it. Let's do it.
First one. What brings you great passion in your life?
That's when you have to ask yourself. That's where it's going to begin every time.
You got to think about it. And it has to come from within, huh? Because if you depend on the human for your passion, the human can disappoint you.
Things get in the way.
Yeah. 2, what stops you from being more passionate about your life?
Ooh, that's where one of the H's that we talk about really comes forward, and that's honesty.
Sometimes it's having the courage to do something that you want, but you're afraid you won't be good enough, or something with not enough in it.
You have to take a leap sometimes to get there.
Yeah. Third one, what are you willing to do to create more passion in your life?
What steps are you willing to take?
Yeah, the steps.
Honesty and inspired
action. Without action, it doesn't work. It's like sitting and eating, watching TV, eating bonbons.
Eating bonbons and hoping
you have stopped doing the bonbons.
Down over 20 pounds.
I know. I can see you're looking good. You're looking good.
That's understanding that those things come together, and that's our formula. SL plus UL equals V.
Yes, victory. We love the victory. Okay, you have a poem.
I do.
Oh, and you wrote it, and it's wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Well, here we go on this.
Oh, I love this poem.
It's February, the year's most romantic part. So how do we celebrate it from the heart? Whether with a partner, your family, your pet, even by yourself, love casts a wide net. Tend your love like fresh roses. And here's how. Whatever you're doing, be in the now. Respect yourself first. It comes from inside out. That is when honoring love comes about. Then be present with your significant other, or mother or father or sister or brother. Snuggle your cat, focus on his purr, find a homeless woman, give a blanket to her.
Oh.
Take yourself on a date, take a bath, sip some wine, honor yourself first and say it loud. Love is mine. Just stay in the moment this Valentine's Day. Whether honoring Eros or Agape, love's the strongest force ever. No question, that's true. Love whoever you're with. And that starts with you.
And by the way, Mike, this is a great one. I mean, you always give good ones. And by the way, for people who are interested, those poems will be
Oh, yeah, we're going to do something
printed out,
with these.
available, because I think they inspire people.
I
They
hope so.
inspire me. So
Thanks. I enjoy
wanna
writing them.
thank you
So,
for that.
well, thank you for the opportunity to share them.
And now is the time for meditation.
Oh, let's do it.
You will love that
I love
part.
this part.
I do too.
Always great.
All right. So we're sitting comfortable. We know what to do. And because it is Valentine coming up, we need to put the hand on the heart, and for sure. The heart and the belly, or both hands on the heart. You choose what you want to do. Connect to your power, connect to your heart fully. It's your choice. And with your feet on the ground, connecting to the earth, firmly planted on the earth, and you feel your head reaching for the sky, and you keep your spine nice and straight. Shoulders drop. You release any tension you may have. You allow your eyes to close. And you begin to breathe. Because each time you claim your breath, you connect to your breath again. It's awakening your connection to your deeper part of you, your deep self, your heart. Your love, because your heart equals love. And I'd like you to imagine today that your heart is a garden. It's called the Garden of the Heart. And you, in your garden, have planted magnificent flowers. You are this gardener with a green thumb. Everything grows magnificently. And the flowers you choose can be imaginary or real. It's up to you. But right now, I'd like you to go directly, instinctively from the heart. Go and pick the favorite one in your garden. And I want you to take a moment to look at this flower, to observe all of the details about these flowers, the color of the petals, the color of the stem. Are there leaves around the flowers? How big is the flower? Are the colors vivid? Are the color more subtle and pale? And as you look at this flower, bring it close and closer to you. Does it smell? Does it have the perfume scent attached to it? And then I want you to put this flower inside your heart. Imagining now inside your heart, there is a vase waiting, a beautiful vase of your choice. And you put that sacred flower inside the vase, realizing this flower represents the beauty of who you are, the love, the self-love, the agape love, and the victorious you in that moment. And before you reopen your eyes, I want you to remember this little story of your garden of the heart. And every time you place your hand on your heart, bring up the flower, see the flower. You can change the flower anytime you want. Go back to the garden. It's yours to keep. On Valentine's month, it's my present to you to have the garden of your heart. And with that smile on your face and returning with the flower, put your hands in prayer position. You reopen your eyes slowly. Reconnect to your body, to where you are. And I'm going to ask Mike, what flower did you come back with?
It was a white rose.
Oh, white, innocence and purity.
And very vivid. Wow.
And do you want to know what mine was?
What was yours?
It's always the same.
What's yours?
The sunflower.
Oh, I can totally see that with you.
Yellow.
I get it.
Passion.
Yep.
Energy.
Wow.
Well, on that note,
yeah, well, as we always end here, victory to you. Victory is yours.
Claim it. See you soon. Au revoir, à bientôt.
Next time.
Merci beaucoup.